Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Newsroom series. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. Our focus this afternoon is the Northwest region of the country. However, we begin in the North Central region, where in Abuja, the Federal High Court has adjourned the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, to Friday, May the 2nd, for the cross-examination of a key prosecution witness. At Tuesday's sitting, Justice James Omotosho granted the adjournment after DSS operative testifying behind a protective screen concluded his evidence against Mr. Kanu, presenting video footage and a written statement from 2015 in which Kanu admitted founding Radio Biafra in London and promoting Biafra's cause. 4 suitcases allegedly recovered from Mr. Kanu's hotel room containing personal items and broadcasting equipment were also admitted as exhibits. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, has arrested businesswoman Aisha Achimugu at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, in the early hours of Tuesday. A lawyer who confirmed her arrest says Aisha Achimugu, who arrived voluntarily into the country from London, was arrested by the EFCC around 5 a.m. today. He criticized the EFCC's action, describing it as a violation of a court order. He also added that in light of what transpired in court yesterday, his client returned based on the undertaking before the court to honor the FCC's invitation, but was still arrested at the airport. He further disclosed that Aisha Achimugu had commenced a hunger strike protest, what he terms a breach of her fundamental human rights. Mrs. Achimugu had been declared wanted in March by the EFCC over allegations of criminal conspiracy and money laundering. And now we catch you up to speed with the Northwest region, where stakeholders from Soba local government area of Kaduna State have endorsed Governor Uba Sani for re-election into office come 2027, commending his significant infrastructure accomplishments in the local government and appointing their sons and daughters into top government positions. The chairman of the Stakeholders Forum and Commissioner for Public Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Ibrahim Hamza, who addressed reporters during their meeting, cited the construction of the Skills Acquisition Center, rehabilitation of rural water scheme, and provision of potable water to 1,500 households, and other reasons as their reasons for endorsing Governor Sani's second-term bid.
Prominent indigents of Soba local government area of Kaduna State are meeting to assess what they describe as the mid-term scorecard of Governor Uba Sani's administration in the last 23 months.
I take pride to stand before you today.
Chairman of the Soba Stakeholders Forum highlights some of the developmental projects in the local government area initiated by the present administration, which includes the provision of pipe-borne water, construction of new roads, and improvement in the security situation.
Soba has been one of the most benefiting local government in Kaduna State. We have gained a lot, especially in the aspect of rural infrastructure development. We are all aware that there are roads that have commenced, especially the one that has started from Inya to Turawa. It has gone to a very significant stage. We are aware of the Skill Acquisition Center, which is supposed to empower the youths of Soba local government, both the male and the female.
Impressed by Governor Sani's performance and accomplishments in Soba local government, these stakeholders make a declaration endorsing him for re-election in 2027.
I would want all of us to come together to endorse the continuity of Senator Dr. Uba Sani by the stakeholders, APC, Soba local government, for his continuity beyond 2027.
We equally want to tell His Excellency that Soba is 100% for Governor Obasani. We do not have any place for any man, whether he's on horse, whether he's on camel, whether he's on rabbit.
Although the 2027 general election is still 2 years away, the people of Soba are confident in their stance that there's a need for the governor to continue in office beyond 2027 to allow him complete projects started in his first term.
The Nigerian Navy has commissioned a 80,000-litre solar-powered motorized borehole in Kauje Town, Bagudo local government area of Kebbi State, under the Chief of Naval Staff Special Intervention Quick Impact Project Initiative. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala, described the initiative as a demonstration of the Navy's deepening commitment to civil-military cooperation and its alignment with the federal government's renewed hope agenda.
This 80,000-litre solar-powered borehole in Kajoe, Bagudo local government area of Kebbi State is being executed under the Chief of Naval Staff Special Intervention Quick Impact Project, which provides strategic support to underserved communities. Highlighting the significance of such interventions in the meeting, the socio-economic needs of rural communities, the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, who was represented at the commissioning by the Chief of Naval Transformation, Rear Admiral Monday Unohere, calls on the people to take ownership of the facility and ensure proper maintenance.
The general idea behind this Quick Impact project is to on the one hand, honor accomplished senior officers by offering them the opportunity to touch lives at the grassroots within communities of their choosing. On the other hand, the Nigerian Navy leverages them to convey to Nigerians that we are committed to innovating to serve additional socio-economic needs of Nigerians. That is beyond providing physical security.
Expressing the Kebbi State government's appreciation, the Commissioner for Water Resources, Bello Abdullahi, notes that the project complements ongoing efforts by the state government to provide potable water to citizens.
It is our hope that this water facility will be sustained, operated and maintained so as to provide long-term services to the people living in Kaoje. This will require the involvement of all stakeholders, from the state policy makers to the operators and water users association. There is need to create enabling environment that will make the operators to perform their duties as required, and for the water users to optimally contribute to the running costs of the facility within their affordability.
For the district head of Kajoe, the project is a source of pride as he pledges the community's commitment to protecting and maintaining the facility.
When you mention the Nigerian Navy, the first thing that comes to mind is water. And today we are grateful to Almighty Allah that the Nigerian Navy has come to Kaoje and provided us with water. And I want to assure the Chief of Naval Staff that collectively as a community we will maintain this project for the benefit of our community. And inshallah we will drink from the water, we will perform ablution with the water, and we will do everything, as you know, that water is life.
This gift, according to the community, serves as a medium to strengthen the bond between the Nigerian military and local communities.
At least 102 victims of fire disaster in Katsina State have received cash assistance worth 65 million naira by the state's Emergency Management Agency. The State Deputy Governor, Honorable Farouk Dove, while flagging off the disbursement exercise held at the agency complex Katsina, also announced that beneficiaries were drawn from 14 local government areas in the state. This intervention is coming a few months after the state government supported over 1,000 flood victims, where the sum of 451 million naira and 800,000 naira was disbursed. And 800,000 naira, beg your pardon, was disbursed to them.
We are giving support to 102 victims of fire disaster across 14 local government areas. This support has been ongoing. government has always come and intervene in the areas where we need to, particularly supporting the victims of fire disaster. We also supported over 1,000 victims of floods. The sum of 451,800,000 was disbursed to victims of flood. And today, the sum of 65 million naira is going to these people, 102 people, in order to support them. So we are not compensating the loss, but government is just supporting the victims.
So the initiatives by the State Emergency Management Agency in the last 2 years of the current state administration.
The beneficiaries will receive assistance worth over 65 million naira as approved by His Excellency Malam Duko Umar. I would like to note here that this money given is not to compensate the victims for their losses, but to assist them alleviate some of their sufferings. I would like to mention here, sir, that this disbursement is the 90th so far conducted by SEMA in the last 2 years of this administration tenure in office, where victims of floods and fire disaster and less privileged people were assisted with food and non-food items by the agency.
Now, many businesses in Kano and Jigawa, northwest Nigeria, are struggling to survive following a severe drop in electricity supply. The Kano Electricity Distribution Company, responsible for power supply in Kano, Jigawa and Katsina, have been unable to meet the demand, leaving many communities in darkness. Our correspondent Sadiq Ilyasu reports.
In the bustling commercial city of Kano, the sound of generators and darkened streets now define the once lively environment. Business owners are now feeling the impact. Many say they are forced to spend thousands of naira daily on fuel just to keep their operations running. Yahya Lawal, a local welder, says he buys a gallon of petrol for 5,000 naira, but it only lasts less than 3 hours in his workshop.
1 gallon of fuel is 5,000. You can buy 5,000. In that 1 gallon that we buy, but you cannot do better work like that. It's just small time. At least 3 hours, 4 hours, you're gone.
For ice product sellers, the situation is even worse. Many report running at a loss, receiving less than 3 hours of power supply per day.
This shortage of power or lack of power supply is affected our business very, very seriously, because we are counting a loss that we cannot count it anymore. In last week, I lost almost 7 million because of the shortage of power.
People that does ice cream business and what have you, or people that does frozen chicken business, it has not been easy for them. But however, we are calling on government to aid us.
The story is similar in Dutse, the capital of Jigawa State, where small businesses heavily dependent on electricity are among the hardest hit.
Sincerely speaking, I used to rely on NEFA before, and even in the last year, I was using generator, but due to expenses in running generator, working with it, so I have no choice. I have to make solar.
We are having much problem in power supply. Due to that, most of businesses are collapsing.
Actually, we are running in loss due to the scarcity of the electricity. Because if you say that you start your own work with the generator, you have to calculate. Before you start your job, you have to calculate in order to minimize the consumption of the fuel.
On the 21st of this month, the Kano Electricity Distribution Company issued a public notice blaming the outage on ongoing system upgrade and vegetation control on critical infrastructure. But weeks later, the situation remains dire with no significant improvement as at the time of filing this report. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
And we turn our attention to education. The Senior Staff Association of Nigeria has lauded, Nigerian universities that is, has lauded President Bola Tinubu for approving the release of 50 billion naira to university unions across the country. This commendation was made by the NorthWest Zonal Vice Chairman of SANU, Comrade Sabo Udil, during the union's Zonal Executive Council meeting held at the Federal University Gusau, Zamfara State.
Members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, across the Northwest region converge on the Federal University Gusau in Zamfara State. The issue in focus at this meeting border on members' welfare and education management. The acting chairman of SANU Federal University Gusau, Aminu Zakari, commends the university management for addressing many of their concerns, highlighting efforts made regarding the 2017 staff recruitment saga.
My fellow comrades, you are witness to the constant prayers and requests we forward to the Vice Chancellor for the benefit of SANU members, which among many are: 1. The 2017 staff recruitment saga. Second, the involvement of SANU members into INEC ad hoc staff during the 2023 general election. The financial support during the recent NDC in Abuja. A 1 hectare of land was allocated to SANU to construct its branch secretariat by the Vice Chancellor. The payment of 50% registration fee to all SANU members who is in PD school.
The representative of the host Vice Chancellor reassures SANU members of the management's continued support.
You are very important in the university. You are the important organs that some of the development we have seen in the university must not be on ground without your assistance, without your commitment. We really appreciate your commitment and being together. You need to be having consultation with most senior colleagues at their level in case of any development, or in case of any decision you want to take. We have them on seat and we have them on other universities.
The Vice Chairman of SANU Northwest Zone, Mr. Sabo Udil, emphasizes the significance of Executive Council meeting, explaining how it provides an opportunity to strengthen the association's unity.
I must remind us, the Northwest Zone is our home, and we have no other place better than this place. For the sake of our unity and to continue progress, let us not allow our personal interest to weaken the strong bonds we have built over years. As we all know, a tree cannot make a forest. Therefore, the success or failure of this zone lies in the hand of each and every one of us.
Part of the highlight of the meeting is an appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for the release of 50 billion naira to university-based unions for the settlement of earned allowances.
The governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, has approved a 100% increase in the allowances paid to National Youth Service Corps members serving in the state. The governor made the announcement of the weekend during the swearing-in ceremony of the 2025 Batch A Stream 1 Corps members at the NYSC Temporary Camp, Ube Training Center, Gusau, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Abubakar Nakwada. Governor Lawal also announced the introduction of special allowances for Corps members in the medical profession.
These are the newly deployed 2025 Batch A Stream 1 Corps members in Zamfara State, ready to participate in the mandatory one-year national service.
That is Excellency and the State Government.
The NYSC scheme, established to foster national unity, promote cultural integration, and accelerate development, requires young Nigerian graduates to serve in different states outside their places of origin. represented by the Secretary to the State Government, announced a 100% increase in the allowances paid to corps members serving in the state, as he explains that the newly approved incentives reflects his administration's commitment to improving their welfare.
I have directed the resumption of state allowances to all corps members in the state. I have also directed the 100% upward increase of the current allowances. Furthermore, corps medical personnel will receive special allowances with immediate effect. As a government, we will continue to support the National Youth Service Corps to ensure that the state derives maximally to the benefits of this lofty program.
The NYC State Coordinator in Zamfara State commends the state government for the gesture. He assures that corps members will undergo sensitization on the cultures and traditions of Zamfara, leadership and citizenship programs, and various skill acquisition trainings.
Since my posting to Zamfara State in August, I've been going very close to the state government, especially following the mandate of my top management in Abuja. They say we should go closer to government to get improvement on the welfare and the security of corps members, especially in places like this, Zamfara State.
Highlight of the ceremony is the administration of the Oath of Allegiance on the corps members, conducted by the Chief Judge of Zamfara State, who was equally represented at the event.
Finally, the Emir of Argungu and leader of the Kebbi State 2025 Hajj exercise, Mohammed Samaila Mera, has pledged to ensure the smooth conduct of this year's Hajj operations. The Emir made the pledge during the maiden inaugural meeting of the Kebbi State Government delegation for the 2025 Hajj operations held in Birnin, Kebbi. Shortly after the meeting, which was held behind closed doors, the Emir announced that Kebbi State will begin the airlift of its 3,800 pilgrims to the Holy Land on May the 9th, 2025.
The level of preparations we had is like we can leave tomorrow. Alhamdulillah, we thank God, and we collectively thank the chairman for what he has done, together with the members, and also praise and commend the support he received from the government of Kebbi, which made it possible for us to reach this level of preparedness. Very little remains, very little, in fact. So, alhamdulillah. We also heard about accommodation in Medina, accommodation in Mecca. There's virtually nothing that has not been attended to.
That's it, our newsroom series today. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.